So the primary goal of our channel here is just, if you were gonna move to Olympia or you already live in Olympia, is to make sure that you know every area around here that you could potentially utilize. So if you've got kids, this is one of those videos where you're gonna wanna watch.
That's right. Today we're gonna go over one of the most attractive water parks that I've ever been to, actually. It's an indoor water park. It's located south of Olympia by about 20 minutes or so in Centralia, which is a small town just outside of Olympia. This is an indoor water park, which is great. Sometimes the weather here can get really cold, and because it's a water park, they want to keep you warm, so you'll be in your swimsuit. So it's like 78 degrees in there. For me, I know I love that because I'm freezing cold, and then I get to go there and hang out. It's like a minute of summer when you get in there, which is fantastic.
So let's talk about the overview a little bit. So, water park, lots of games, lots of food, restaurants. They actually have mini golf. They have this Magic Quest game. So there's a lot of things for the kids to do when they're not in the water park. You can actually stay there for a few days, although the parents in us don't really recommend that.
After a couple days, I think you would lose your marbles because it is a little bit noisy in there. I don't know if you felt like that, but you get in there, and because it's indoors, it kind of echoes around, like the kids are screaming. It's like a big glass walls and things, which does keep it warm, but also keeps the noise kind of bouncing around a little bit. So I think it's great because kids of all ages can go. My kids now are a little bit older, but we've been going there since they were pretty darn young. They have a kiddie pool, so if you got a little one, then they have a separate area that feels really safe. And then they've got different depths of pools, a wave pool. They've got activities in one of the pools that are like kind of like sports activities, basketball, which is what my son absolutely loves to do. And then, of course, you have the huge water slides, which I think all the kids want to be big enough to go on.
Yeah, they've got the adult stuff, the stuff that I was like, man, I'm kind of scared of this ride once I went down. It's called the Howling Tornado, by the way. So you head down, and this is the most of, like the cone-looking thing that you can see from the freeway. It's like yellow and red, and it's 4 people in a tube. Not too bad of a line. You get in there and you go down the slide, right? You're in the 4-person tube, but it's dark and you can't see anything. And then all of a sudden you pick up speed, and then you just get spit out in this cone thing. You go way up the sides, and you go way up the other side, and then you kind of like a, back and forth, right? How would you describe the back and forth?
No, it's really fun. It makes you feel like you're gonna fall over. I felt several times like I was gonna get crushed by the person I was with. Yes. So I'm like, this thing's going to tip over and kill me, but it doesn't. It's all great. It's fun.
So let's talk about what else there is to do. You can build a bear, you can play mini golf, and it's sort of in the dark too, with a lot of blacklight stuff. There is a gold rush area, which is really cool. The kids get this bag of dirt, right? And then it's like they're panning for gold, and the water rushes through, and then they collect little jewels. What else do you remember about the place?
I remember the quest game where they get a magic wand and they get to go around and try to find things all throughout the whole hotel. And then a lot of times they'll have activities for the kids at night, which is really kind of fun.
Yes.
So music, dancing, just all kinds of fun stuff for them to get involved with. There's
basically like a parade that goes on there. So if you're a planner and you need to know everything before you go to a place, what you want to know is if you're going into the water park, there are cabanas. You can rent them. They're not so pricey. They're like a normal pool cabana. You get some private space, so that's good. There's lockers, so that's always great. There's food down there, so you're pretty much squared away when you go to the water park.
So one thing I love is there's even a tiny water slide for the little kids. When you come into the water park, you'll notice there's this big huge bucket, and I don't know, what is it, timed out for 15 minutes or something like that? Is it 30 minutes?
Oh yeah.
It's like, and you hear it beep, it's about to go, and then the dang thing dumps over and everybody gets soaked down below, and hopefully you realize that's coming before it hits you.
And then you move over, like Jessica mentioned, you've got the more athletic, a little bit deeper. It goes up to about 4 feet. They can cross lily pads and hang onto ropes and shoot baskets, right? And then you got the wave pool. And the wave pool, all the brave kids, they go find the biggest wave in the very front, And then the whole time when I'm there, I get to make sure they don't drown.
I think that's the key is like if you have little kids, maybe especially the first couple times, go in there with them because it's a little rougher than you might think for the little ones.
I see their
My daughter still, like her eyes get all big every time, and she's 12, so it just depends on how strong of a swimmer they are.
You'll see that kid's just head kind of go underwater a little bit, and then the wave is gone, so now their head's above water. So there's multiple water slides for the kids that are a little bit older and for the adults. So the adults still have something to do other than sit in the cabana and have cocktails.
There's a hot tub.
There is a hot tub.
There's a hot tub that the adults
Yes,
can
I
sit
forgot.
in too.
So the hot tub is kind of outside.
It's an indoor-outdoor thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. I didn't even go over there last time. It's good?
It's very good.
Is it big?
It's huge.
It's big? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're probably curious about what the rooms are like, and you might be curious about what's sort of around there, and you might be curious about what do people go there for. So I can tell you on the go there for, people go there for birthday parties. Like we went there just to give our kids a cool weekend, right? So one day is fine, one day is a little short, but let's talk about the hotel rooms in general. Hotel is very clean, lots of different styles of rooms, some that really are really neat for the kids though, because they're themed. All right, so study the rooms, because you're gonna have a normal, like we stayed in a normal family suite where we had 2 beds, and then we also had a family area, but a lot of them do the theme with like a wolf den suite. Look it up online. We'll put a link in the description below, but if you want to upgrade your room, they give you that option if the hotel is not super busy, but you can book it straight up front if you want to have it be a little extra special than just kind of a standard hotel room feel.
One of the places my kids love to take off to towards the end of the evening, usually they're tired, they've been running around all day, but they want to go play video games at the arcade. It's really, really cute in there. It kind of reminds me of an old school arcade a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the other thing they love is there's like little dessert areas kind of popped around. Like they like the Dippin' Dots, the frozen dot things. So there's kind of cool little spots where the kids can go have a treat.
Yeah, there is literally no shortage of time. And what ends up happening is you're there for 1 day or 2 days, and it feels like it's not enough time to do everything that's there. So here's the thing, you're gonna look at the hotel online, and then you're gonna look at the room, you're gonna look at the prices online. What you're gonna wanna know is you get access for 4 people to the water park with most of the hotel rooms. And check online, make sure, because I'm not a representative of the hotel, right? But if it seems like the price is a little high, it is because you're getting to use the water park before you check in if you want to, and you also get to use it the next day. So I didn't know that when we first booked, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool, because you actually get a lot of juice out of the squeeze of the place. In a typical hotel, you're waiting until 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock to check in, so it feels like the first day is kind of a waste. But at this place, you can arrive early, and you can use the water park.
Yeah, be sure and check the timing and what time the pool closes. That was one mistake I made one time, was we were planning on using the park and then didn't realize what time it closed, so we only got there like an hour and a half before the pool closed. They still had a great time and overnight and all that stuff, and then we used it the next day, so they got to use it twice. But I would just pay attention to the closing time for the water park itself.
Yeah, and if you're like me, you're a little bit like, I want my quiet time. I don't want to listen to kids at midnight, right? Just know that the hotel, as of now, is quiet time at 11 p.m. and it does kind of settle down. I mean, I was there on a Saturday night, and pretty much everything was really calm once the arcade closed and stuff, so it was even before the quiet time, so it wasn't too bad.
So if you're there for a couple days and you're feeling like you want to step out and get food somewhere else, I highly recommend the Talking Cedars Brewery. It's a restaurant. It's a part of the Heritage Distilling Company, so I highly recommend you check that place out.
So if you find yourself with something to keep your kids happy, especially if they're in that toddler to 12-year-old range, highly recommend going to this place. And if you want to know anything more about Olympia, places to go, things like this, be sure and subscribe to our channel. We do videos like this every week.